severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Alrighty, right out of the gate, we're already getting, this is Henry Kramer 605 Chaser, and we're already getting some severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's go ahead and take a look at live radar through Radar Omega here and show you what's going on here. We do have these storms up in areas of Duluth that are moving through the area. Let me shut off the weather model. We're going to go and break down everything that you need to know with respect to severe weather, where that is expected. This is kind of a precursor and could end up causing issues for the major setup that is expected later today. Let me kind of explain what happened yesterday. I know with regards to Jamestown, North Dakota, they early this morning, around between 3 and 4 o'clock this morning, Jamestown, North Dakota, and a number of other counties in North Dakota had some major wind damage. I haven't heard from one of my friends up there, so I'm hoping that he's okay. He's a good friend of mine. Helps me with his friends at the National Weather Service out of Bismarck. So hope he's okay. I've reached out to him. Haven't heard anything, so hopefully good. But anyhow, back to the weather. Yesterday's event that happened, it happened super late. The weather models were all over the place, but the morning time convection that happened in the western portion of North Dakota, along with an extremely strong cap. Basically, what that means is a lid on the atmosphere, and it wasn't able to grow into this big time weather event, and it didn't push farther southeast. The HRRR kept on updating and starting to show things trending that it was going to continue to trek eastward, and that's what ended up happening. So South Dakota, you didn't get anything. However, let's see what the weather models say for today. But before I do that, I want to show you the weather update from the SPC. This is your outline for today. The slight risk all the way up in this area. This is a 2 out of 5, and then we do have the marginal risk, which would be a 1 out of 5, and then just general thunderstorms overall throughout the United States. This is the main focus in the plains, central plains, upper Midwest area. That's where that is. This was updated at around 7:50-ish this morning. So this is the latest information that we have from the Storm Prediction Center. Tornado risks, what we got there, Fergus Falls, St. Cloud is the biggest area. Little Falls, Alexandria, Minnesota, those are some risk areas. Now again, this is highly conditional because we've already had some morning convection happening, but what are the other risks? And I'm going to show you the weather models here and give you the timing because there's another round. I don't want you guys to leave because there's another round possible. This is just the precursor to what could come. And Sioux Falls, you're in that risk for the hail and the wind. Again, I'll show you that model in a little bit. But 15% risk overall here for additional development. And then the hail risk, that's more isolated to the northern tier of the plains and up into God's country of Minnesota there. So that's kind of what we're expecting to happen there. Let's go ahead and break down the weather models here for you as best as we possibly can. We will show you, this is the Rufus model. Now this was updated at 4 o'clock this morning, so just be mindful. That's kind of pretty much how it played out there. As we progress this a little bit further along, you can kind of see it's picking up on some of those northerly storms this morning. This would be looking at around 9 a.m. and look at that. I mean, you saw the live radar a little bit ago, and that's really what this is playing out to be. Now, here as we go into the afternoon, late afternoon hours, you see a few little blips out in western South Dakota, but I really don't think that's going to be too much until we get to 6 p.m. and later. This is a look at 6 p.m. here, and we do have a few isolated storms. Oh, Mike is giving some feedback. Okay, thank you very much for letting me know. Let me get that checked here. All right, dude, is that a little bit better? I certainly hope so. It seems like my Bluetooth sometimes has, if I have it connected for a long period of time. Hopefully that is better. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Send me a heart if you if it's better. I should check on my own audio here. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. All right, thanks, Nate. Appreciate it very much. All right, so here's how this is going to play out. Again, sorry for the audio, but it's awesome that Nate was able to help me out with that. All right, so here's how it's going to play out. Again, over in southwestern portions, like over in the Custer area, sometime around 7 p.m. Or between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. time frame, and then that moves along over.
A new severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
All right, we got another severe thunderstorm warning, and my son just woke up. Go figure. Hey, Nate's on here. Nate's on here. Hey, buddy, I got to do this. All right, so northeastern portions of South Dakota and extreme portions of southeastern North Dakota. This is a look at around 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Can you go, bud? That noise is. Uh, All right, that's all the farther that the Rufus can go out, but you can certainly see that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the models for HRRR and see what that's showing. This was updated at 13Z, so that was 8 a.m. It's not fully out. Usually takes a little while for it to go through, but let me go to the 12Z here and kind of show you what might happen. All right, bud, you're kind of getting in my way, dude. Watch out, I got my laptop there. All right, let's play this out here. And this is kind of what is expected to have happen late. So Sioux Falls area, we believe 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. time frame could have some storm coverage. It's real dicey. We've got some morning convection that's kind of happening this morning. I'm in Harrisburg area, and we certainly see the cloud cover happening. I'll show you that in a little bit here for that. 1 second, folks. He was distracting me a little bit because he kept sucking through the Gatorade bottle and was driving me bonkers. I'm easily distracted if you can't tell. All right, so this area here, let me go ahead and kind of pinpoint areas that I would target for a tornado, okay? If that was to happen. This is going to be super late, but this probably is going to turn into a windbag event. Let me go back here. Isolated spots. I want to see what this HER model says right here. This would be interesting. Not that. Let's see here. 1 second. See if it's got marginal tornado here. It's got tornado right there. This isn't meaning that there's absolutely going to be a tornado. This is just a weather model, just so you're aware. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that coordinates directly into the Google to find exactly. Oh goodness, I got good friends in Coleman, South Dakota. So Coleman, if I were to chase today, because I have an amazing follower that gifted me some money. Not going to call out your name because I don't want to disrespect you and do that. But there was an amazing follower that gifted for the cause, and that certainly will go a long ways with our major ramp up of 2026 equipment purchases that we got to do. Got for those of you that are not aware, we've got a $1,900 purchase that we got to be making at the end of this month. EcoFlow Delta Pro. We're going to be having some electricity in our vehicle that's continuous and can also help with rescue efforts if we should get into situations where we need that. But Coleman area is possible for a tornado today. Let's look at, we got supercell number is 10.4, STP is 1.8, so low end, but the ship number is 1.9. What these all mean: a critical angle 70 degrees. I mean, if you get a 90-degree angle, that's the curvature where you're going to really get that spin up to happen. Again, this is highly conditional depending on the cloud cover. Let's go ahead and take a look at that satellite. I do want to see where all of that is at. We got way too much cloud cover going on over here. So this is going to be very difficult. Not impossible, but it's going to be very difficult to have anything really ramp up. We've got all this cloud cover right here. What we really would want to see if we were wanting, and you can see the outflow boundary right here. Let me show you it on radar. It might be a little bit easier. Let me shut these off. Outflow boundary, you'll be able to see it kind of like an echo from the radar here pushing through. Drop this down to base. It's not as prominent as it was earlier, but certainly was there. Have a few little isolated non-severe storms over west of Mitchell, east of Platte, north of O'Neill there. But these are really not going to, they're going to end up puttering out, if you will. There you saw it. Just 1 second, and I could show you that outflow boundary right there. 1 second. There's where that outflow boundary is. And that's already moved through. You saw it, may have seen in Sioux Falls area, some of that. Okay, you can't show because they won't be able to see it. I don't know if you guys want to see it. My son wants to show this. You can't see it, dude. Not a He's taking pictures of clouds. Gotta love them. Hold on a second, folks. All right. Goodness gracious. The struggle is real today for the live folks. The struggle is real. My son is super excited about the storms today. All right, let me go back to the weather here 1 second. I want to show you the weather model showing the SIN, or the cap in the atmosphere, and explain that a little bit. I'm going to go geeky on you a little bit. There we go. Get my brain focused. All right, so we have capping in the atmosphere. Obviously, this is a look at estimates of 9 a.m. And if you take a look at this right here, this is the larger the negative number, the stronger the cap. I mean, it is pretty prominent throughout eastern portions of South Dakota. This is not a cap up here. This is, you can see the lesser of the number. So the cap is pretty well broke, hence the reason we have these storms right here, okay? So that's kind of an explanation, a little bit of what exactly is cap. Doesn't mean no lie, like some of the teenagers say. Not going to be lying, no cap. Can tell I have a teenager. All right, so here's what could end up happening. Around 5 p.m., we start to see that cap erode, especially in northern portions of South Dakota. So 5 p.m., if you were going to be chasing, this would probably be the definite area you'd want to go for tornado genesis. Down here would probably be more of the wind, like the 50-mile-an-hour winds, and maybe some hailers down there, but very small hail. And plenty of rain. Let me go back to this other update here. All right, let's go. Got a tornado warning up in areas of Canada now. All right, there's the cap eroding. 7 p.m. right here around Sioux Falls. Just north of Sioux Falls. That's when we could end up getting some storms in Sioux Falls area. Um, but it's going to be really dependent on how quickly this plays out. Let me kind of show you this here through composite reflective a little bit. That way you can see your specific area a little bit better. Again, very spotty, but not going to lie, these little tiny cells here, any one of them could end up having a brief spin up, but this is at 10 o'clock. So you're going to lose some of that oomph, if you will. Let's take a look at the shear. The shear is the bulk shear is what is that helps give it its oomph and get that vertical winds. The shear shows up certainly right here, 43, 52 knots, 1 o'clock in the morning. So that's likely when it turns into more of a wind event that late in the evening, because you can certainly see this whole line here of wind shear. If storms can fire, this would probably push off to the east. You saw it on the radar estimate. And if we play this through for the shear event, it ends up about 4 o'clock in the morning going over to areas of Wisconsin. But after today, we're not seeing much. I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what I'm kind of looking on, and I don't do a whole lot with GFS, but it is a long-range model, and I want to take a look at the 500 millibar wind. The reason why I want to take a look at that is I want to kind of show you we are a little concerned. It's it's about 9 days out, but there's possibility of some troughing happening, shortwave trough happening, where this comes down in from Canada and then messes with our wonderful warm weather. So let's kind of show you where I mean this could end up happening. Ooh, it has changed quite a bit. Hang on 1 second and I'll point it out. So around the 15th, there is a possibility for this little system right here to move on here. My guess is it's probably going to be a northern tier, so it's probably going to be one of those big old windbag events again up in North Dakota. And so this system could likely push through there. Let me take a look at the euro and see if that has changed anything at all. So we're going to have some days where the high pressure is going to dominate and give us our wonderful warm temperatures. In the triple digits. If you love those triple digits, get ready. They're on their way. Looks like a little bit of a disturbance on the 12th, possibly in Minnesota. Again, you can kind of see it dip right here. So when you see this clearing here, basically, that's that jet stream just dipping down a little bit, bringing that colder or cooler air. I shouldn't say cold, but cooler air. Yeah, it's changed quite a bit, and these weather models do change. So last night when I looked at this, it looked like it was going to dip a little bit further. So we'll have to see how that plays out. So stay weather aware as always, and we'll have to see how all this plays out. How many people I got in here? Goodness, I got 3 concurrent viewers, and I got 3 likes. I love it. I just got a text message from, oh my gosh, folks. Oh my gosh. I don't have permission to show this and share, but one of my good friends in North Dakota just shared this morning's aftermath of the storms that rolled through Jamestown, North Dakota. A house is completely demolished. Like, if I get permission from the owner of this. All right, folks. Well, at least it's not his house, but it is, again, if I get permission from the owner to post this, but like the roof went over and caved onto like 3 cars, if I could describe it. Um, and it'll be interesting to see the damage assessment if that was an embedded tornado or if they're going to call it straight line winds. I have a feeling they're just going to call it straight line winds. Let's take a look at what we got going for live radar here. So we do have some cells over in Bismarck area. Those are really not going to be much of anything until it gets to that boundary here. Look at that, Valley City, 68 degree with a 68 degree dew point. Got plenty of dews, 77 for a dew point in Redfield. A lot of moisture. Just taking a look at surface observations. Let me pull up surface observations here so I can have a better idea of what exactly is going on live. One second here, folks. Appreciate your patience. All right, let's pull this up for you so you guys can see this. All right, so this is surface observations right now. We got a little bit of convection that's happening right here. We do have, let's see here, convective segment. So what this is aviation weather center. So if you go to aviationweather.gov, I'll put that in the chat here. And then I'll pin it for you. That is something that you can take a look at the surface observations. You can find out the winds, directions. It's basically for aviations. But look at this. We got a little bit of interesting stuff down here. 970 millibars, and we got the winds that are coming out of the southeast. So it's pumping fuel over in Mitchell, South Dakota. Fuel is moving on in. So it'll be interesting to see how we got the sun coming up now, or sun coming out now in my area. Trying to peek through. Still a lot of cloud cover. Maybe it'll be enough to break it sooner rather than later, but it's an interesting, going to be an interesting day for sure. Let me go back to these weather models and show you. All right, again, this updated, we got 14 hours out. This is the latest HER model, so I'm just going to kind of move this along and show you what could happen today. You can find your county there. The main area of focus is going to be up here in northern, like up by Aberdeen, South Dakota. That's where we could have that tornado potential, and that would be sometime after 7 p.m. So kind of after 6 p.m. is when these storms could develop. We only got 14 hours out, so main focus area right in here. because all that fuel is
A
going to be
new severe
pumping through.
thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Let me show you the Rufus model here, or NAM 3K rather. That is updated a little bit more, so we can kind of show you that, give you a different scenario. Oh, look at this, robust storms. This, I hope, is not the case. Major time storms windbag event. This could possibly, I mean, this is showing up at 8 p.m. is what it looks like. Let me kind of zoom into this a little bit better. So you guys can see. Let me show you on Radar Omega. It'd be a little bit easier if that's been updated fully enough. Not gonna lie, that's starting to get a little shaky for me. All right, this has gone through enough, so I'm going to go ahead and bring Radar Omega up and show you the NAM 3K on here so you can see a specific area. Look at this. Clear Lake, Brookings, Madison. This would be a wind scenario because you got the curvature right here. And this whole line is going to be a big old, if you want to call it, gust front, so to speak. Some cold pooling is expected. It'll make this a little bit more linear. As you can see, it continues to grow into a big old line. By the time you get to midnight, St. Paul, Twin Cities area, New Ulm. So folks, if you're in those areas, you're definitely going to want to be staying weather aware as it moves through southeastern portions of Minnesota into Eau Claire and even north central portions of Iowa, and then just kind of goes through Cedar Rapids before it dies out tomorrow morning. So let me play that through again. This is one scenario, so there's a lot of controversy on which model we're going to use, but if this plays out, 8 p.m., this is what it could look like. 9 p.m., 10 p.m. right there. So Sioux Falls looks like you're going to miss out on it. And most of the storm activity is going to be north of Sioux Falls. Goodness gracious. Let's take a look at some significant tornado parameter numbers while we got this pulled up here. Significant tornado parameters is just a measurement of, where all the elements are, or a number of the elements are that we could have tornado genesis. So this would be an area of concern. So Alexandria, Sauk Center, Glenwood, Melrose, back to Appleton, Minnesota. This is probably the area that would be the greatest concern around 5 p.m. Even back to Clear Lake and De Smet area, a very low chance, but still a chance. Hence the reason they have this area here in Alexandria in a 5% risk for tornadoes. Take a look at the updraft helicity here. Back this up a little bit. Definitely going to have some spin ups between Madison and Morris. So Madison, South Dakota, all the way up to Millbank and Morris. This whole line are from here right through here. Late this afternoon into the evening hours. That's a lot of area to chase, but again, in my opinion, this would probably be the area, if you're going to chase, that would be the area that I would go to. Right here. We'll see how that plays out. See if I'm right or wrong. I hope I'm wrong for the sake of the safety, but goodness gracious, it's crazy. So max updraft helicity, or max updraft. What that is basically it can show you the hailers and where the updraft, and then if you combine that with the significant tornado parameters, you can really pinpoint, in my opinion. I mean, I'm no meteorologist, but in my opinion, uh, that's where you can pinpoint where it's a good spot to kind of chase, as long as it's not going to be a big old windbag event. But this looks like it's going to turn into that. So you would have to catch these pretty early and be in the right position early on. You'd have maybe an hour of a time window, maybe between that 5 p.m. and 7 p.m. at most time frame to be able to get a good chase in if you're going for those tornado type of events. But then it becomes more linear MCS type of system and just becomes one heck of a mess. So let's kind of go ahead and show you what the temperatures are expected to do here as well. We'll show you that on the GFS here. That way you can kind of get a good idea. Actually, I'll just use Pivotal here for a second. Use Pivotal weather, show you the temperatures a little bit better here. All right, here we go. We got temperatures that are going to be in the hundreds next week. I'll show you that here in a second. Look at that. 93, and this is probably undercutting it a little bit. Heat indexes, look at that. August 12th, wonderful 97, 95, 87 it says in Sioux Falls, but I would not put that down. I think that's probably going to be, ooh, there's the triple digits. I knew it was somewhere in there, August 12th. So if you're a fan of warmer weather and mugginess, look at this, 110. 110 in Nebraska area. And then we move along here. There's those temps. Trying to see if we can find anything that has a major shift. And it doesn't. It looks like dominating high pressure. Wow, did I see like 100? Yeah, 101 in winter area, 102. That's going a long ways out. But dew points are going to be a mess too. We got the corn sweat in full swing. Look at these dew points. Purple shades, you're going to be able to see those 70s. 60s to 70s for dew points, really pushing through that corn sweat. As you go into the middle part of the month, that's when the GFS does indicate that there's a possibility of some storm activity that'll be ramping up into eastern part of South Dakota again by next weekend. But again, this could change. Well, it will change. Just don't have the timing or of anything at this point. So next weekend, you're going to want to watch out. We'll be keeping it all in your mind as we go through these daily updates. I'm going to let you all go. I've been on here for a half an hour. Again, thank you all so much. God bless and stay safe. If for some reason storms get close enough to the Sioux Falls area, I may end up going out and doing a little bit of a chase on my own with my son. So